Hello, everybody. Welcome to another episode of GSC's Girl Pod. I am your host, Candy, joined by, of course, the wonderful V for today's episode. How you doing, V?
I'm very well, Candy. How are you doing?
I'm good. It is a Saturday. It is not as hot as it has been the last couple days. So, I can't really complain as much, although, the weather has been a little hit or miss here in New York. But I'll take some cooling down. I'll take some cooling down.
Yeah, no, to be fair, it's the same. It's been the same here in Scotland. Like, it has been ridiculously sunny over the past week, and from yesterday and today. In fact, today I sent you a video earlier of just the rain bouncing off of the street. And I'm like, do you know what? I'm kind of okay with that. It's going to cool down a little bit. I'm happy.
I hope it legitimately cools down for you. We've been having that weather where the rain comes in and then it just stays humid. Or like earlier this week where it just flooded lots of things and I couldn't get home for like 3 hours.
Not ideal. Like, yeah, I don't want that. I just want it to maybe a thunderstorm, get
Mm.
rid of all of the humidity, and then I can finally go to sleep because we don't have AC here in Scotland. Like, so it's just fucking warm all the time. Like,
A nice relaxing thunderstorm, those sounds just like I like the sounds of thunderstorms just coming
yeah,
down, unwind, lay in bed, let it soothe you to sleep. But if it doesn't soothe you to sleep anymore, you know what you could do? You could make sure that you follow this channel and that you also check us out on gamersocialclub.ca. If you check us out on this channel, you also get the weekly news podcast every Thursday, the party chat every Friday, and on the website, you will get editorials, guides, news, reviews written for gamers by gamers. And then when you've caught up on all your news and that thunderstorm is still going, you can just lay to sleep and dream about all the wonderful games that are coming out.
yeah. Which of we play most of them, to be honest. Like,
Too.
you know, you're not going to find probably a website that plays as many games that we do. Like, we're not just doing your triple A's. We're not just doing your double A's. We're doing all your indies. We're doing as much as
Mm-hmm.
humanly possible. So if you're looking for your next favorite game, you can find it here. You can find it potentially on the party chat or on the news podcast. Absolutely. Mm.
And if we haven't covered your favorite game, let us know. Maybe we'll cover it.
Yeah. Put it in the comments below and we will potentially play it and talk about it. And
Yeah,
then let you guys know our thoughts about it.
100%. And they will be honest thoughts.
Yeah, well, we take no sponsorships. We don't get when we do get codes, it's always 100% honest thoughts. We always complete games before we review them.
Mm-hmm.
And if we can't complete them because it's like a roguelike or something like that, we will play it for as much as humanly possible before we review it. So we've seen as much as a game that we can. Like, you're not going to find a review on our website that's like 3 hours into a game.
Yeah, no.
Unless it's only a 3 hour game.
Yeah, if it's a
But
3 hour game, that's fine. And there are some games that are still fantastic that are 3 hour games. That's cool.
absolutely. But we will 100% hit credits before we write any reviews. So you can trust that we're not going to let you know a game that, in the first 5 hours is great, but the next 10 hours is shit, is good. We will have played those last 10 hours and we will tell you it's shit.
Or if it starts out bad and gets better as it goes. Because there are games like that start out real slow. And
yeah.
then all of a sudden it's like, wow, I finally hit hour 6 and suddenly the story picked up and the characters feel good and the gameplay feels smooth and it's like if you stopped at hour 3, you wouldn't know that.
Yeah, absolutely. And you will never get that from us because we always finish them. So if
Even
you if you want to know how a game is, you can read our reviews or you can tune into the Girl Pods or the other
exactly.
pods. I mean, the other pods are also good, but Girl Pod is better. Like,
Yeah, because we're on it, clearly. Because you know what? Hold on. Okay. This is, we will get into like our normal segments, but I don't think I said this on the podcast yet, but I mentioned this to V, and I've mentioned this in other Discords that I'm in because I feel like I'm going a little crazy. Okay. So,
okay,
episode 0, which was like our trial episode, was on the off the cuff, right? We didn't plan, but we did a fantasy guest pitch, right? We pitched to Ben Starr and it was just like a fantasy thing, and it was like, you know what, that's great, we're gonna do it every episode, right? That wasn't planned. Cut to, and I will name the podcast, right? And who knows, maybe they'll catch on or whatever, right? I was listening to Wine About It that now has a new host, right? So
Yeah.
it's just, they don't talk about gaming, right? So they don't do the same exact things that we do, but they are gamers, they're streamers, whatever. And the first episode of the two new hosts together, they did like a fantasy guest thing, right? And they
Yeah.
joked about it being a segment that they do every week. They have not done it again, but I was like, what?
They stole her bit, is what you're saying. They've
I was like,
stolen her bit.
wait, what? What is happening? Right?
Big streamers like stealing smaller streamers' bits.
I was
Oh,
I was like, I'm flattered and I would love to talk to y'all, right? But so I was like, okay. Then I'm listening to, I think it was this week's episode, and they were talking about games that they do want to play because they have like a Patreon where they play games and blah 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 blah. Right? And one of them says, I think I really want to do the Crash Bandicoot remasters. And I almost jumped out of my seat because on my Twitch channel, I just finished the first Crash Bandicoot. When Steam had a sale, I bought the remaster trilogy.
yeah.
And I started playing it and I was streaming it and I finished the first one. It took me 301 deaths to finish the first one because my chat helped me count. And I'm just like, I feel same podcast talking about like playing this Crash Bandicoot game, and I'm like, am I going crazy? Like, we just did this segment on the podcast. I just finished this game here, right?
But you spoke about the fact that you were playing Crash Bandicoot on Steam when we discussed it in the podcast, because we were talking about like what got you into gaming, and it was like played Crash Bandicoot when you were a child with your dad, and then you went back to replay it. So yeah, beggar streamers stealing our creative ideas.
But then, so then today in my Discord, right? I have a Discord for streaming with my husband and a few other friends, right? Um, one of our friends in that Discord post an article from another news website, right? Where the Crash Bandicoot, the original Crash lead programmer, says that the trilogy botched how jumping works, right? Now,
yeah, I did know that. Yeah.
Now, mind you, it's not like this trilogy just came out, right? But this article just got posted. And I'm like, nobody was like, this was talked about before, and then it kind of died, right? And now it's like back in the news, and I'm like, what? Why is there such an interest in Crash all of a sudden? Like,
it's because we did it. Because we did it first.
I was like, I feel like a crazy person.
No, it's good. We're trendsetters. Like, we're doing it first.
I feel like a crazy person, and there is someone who I know they listen to this podcast or watch it, you know, and they are someone that comes around my stream a lot, and they have jokingly said, and I keep trying to push back on this, right? They have jokingly said, they're like, well, Candy, you're an influencer. And I'm like, no, I am not, because influencers make money doing this. Right?
Yeah, and I can assure you we make no fucking money.
I'm like, I'm not making money off of Crash. I'm not making money off, like, I'm not making money off of this, right? Like, this is a hobby. This is fun, right? Like, there is not money being made off of this, right? But, so, of course, these things keep coming up. And she's like, I don't know. I've said it before. You're an influencer. I'm like, well, then show me the money.
Yeah. Get those subscriptions in, get those likes and subscribes into the bottom, because if we're going to be influencing things, at the very least, you could give us some money.
Right? I was like, what the hell? So it's just like, I'm like, now I feel like Crash is like haunting me, like just everywhere I look, there's Crash.
So 301 deaths is haunting me.
It is. I was just like, what the hell? So the other day, I didn't boot up Crash again, but I did do another nostalgic game, right? So I'm just putting it out there that if suddenly people are talking about like Turtles in Time, right? Like, I'm gonna start like asking for royalty paychecks.
Well, yeah, I mean that's very obscure.
It
Like
is. It is. Just
who's playing Turtles in Time?
it better be nobody. If suddenly it is someone, I'm literally gonna be
Yeah,
like, what the hell is happening? But
Ludwig's in here being like, I'm gonna play Turtles in Time. Like
you know
I
what?
challenge I challenge Squeaks to a speed run of Turtles in Time. Like
You know what? If Ludwig's like, I'm booting up Turtles in Time, I'm gonna be like, all right, Ludwig, but I'm playing with you.
yeah, yeah. Bros versus bros. Like because I will beat you at Turtles in Time, Ludwig. Like you know, gauntlet is thrown. Like we can do bros versus bros for Turtles in Time. Like because I already know I'll beat you at fucking battleships because you're shit, man.
I was just like, it was like, it just popping up so many places. I was like, this is crazy. This is crazy.
Yeah,
I was just like, because especially since it was just such a whim that I booted up Crash, right?
yeah.
And then to keep seeing it pop up, I'm like, how, why? Like, I know that it was on the Steam sale, right? Because it was like $4. But then to just see so much like repetition, I'm like, nobody was talking about Crash. Nobody cared about Crash. Like, it was just,
Maybe you maybe you are an influencer. Like
well, again, can I like hook me up with a royalty paycheck so then like one real big royalty paycheck so that we can do an in-person episode of Girl Pod,
yeah, we can do an end girl episode of podcast, girl pod where we play Crash in person.
right?
We can do.
Like
Yeah,
like it'll go right back
give
into
us
the podcast.
give us the money. Like we don't want it for buying beers or wines. Like we can buy our own beers or wines.
Yeah, buy that on
We
my
would
own.
just want to make we just want the podcast to be more fun for you guys. So
Right.
yeah,
But yeah, so that was a very side tangent, but just cracked me. It made me laugh, and I was just like, I don't know how all this stuff like keeps popping up. But just very weird coincidences.
yeah, absolutely, absolutely. Yep.
But what's not a coincidence is that I'm still drinking the 1911 cotton candy cider because when you order, you know, packs directly from a cidery, you end up with a lot of them. So I'll probably be drinking these probably for the next couple of episodes until I finish out what I have. But you have a different drink today.
I do have a different drink. So I have what just looks like a pint of red wine. It's not a pint of red wine, although there is red wine in it. Um, so what I have is a Malbec, delicious Malbec, um, Argentinian. But when I was in the pub last week, my friend David, who is Spanish, was like, I'm gonna let you into a lovely little Spanish secret, which is essentially like a poor man's sangria. So what I'm
Love
drinking
it.
right now is half a pint of red wine with ice, but topped up with specifically 7 Up. Like it has to be lemon and lime. Um,
Okay.
so it's like how you'd have with a lovely little sangria. Although I think a sangria you put a bit of brandy in, lots of fruit.
Okay.
But if you want to do that on a budget, you can just find a nice bottle, or not even that nice of a bottle of red wine. Put it in a big glass, loads of ice, and then top it up with 7 Up or Sprite, and you'll have the most refreshing summery beverage. So yeah, I could only recommend. I've been drinking it for the last week because it's been roasting here. And it feels very Mediterranean. So would absolutely recommend.
I feel like that
Yeah.
also sounds like it'd be very refreshing because the lemon lime like refreshing and just enough like with the right like the right ratios to be like
Yeah.
there's the refreshing but then the flavor of the wine still comes through.
Yeah, and you don't have to make it like half a pint with half a pint.
Yeah.
I am from Glasgow. Please accumulate yourself to it with your own taste and or how much you are able to drink.
Mm-hmm.
Like, but
Yeah, because if you want something sweet on the sweeter end, you'll probably put more of that 7 Up, right? Or,
yeah,
you know, if you're in the States, I know we also have Starry, which is similar, not quite the same. You know, but like you could, if you want sweeter, you'll put more of the soda. If you want something a little less sweet and more of that wine flavor to come out, then more
Yeah,
of the wine, and you can figure out what that ratio, that perfect ratio is for you, because it will be different for everybody.
absolutely. And you can also make it in a much smaller glass.
Hmm.
Like you do not have to have half a pint of wine. But I am from Glasgow, thus I have to. Like these are the rules. I'm sorry. Like I don't know if you've ever met or like spoken to Scottish people before, but we drink a lot. Like it's it's
Fair.
kind of just the rules. Like
Hey, listen, that's fair. No, but yeah, I think it sounds very refreshing. I am definitely clearly I'm drinking a cotton candy cider, so I'm definitely like a sweeter drink person. So I probably would go like with more of the soda for the sweetness, but
yeah, but
that's like my
you could
preference.
also you could also sub in like a sweeter wine.
Mm-hmm.
Like you don't have to use a Malbec. You could
No.
use a little Pinot Noir, a little bit more
Oh yeah.
sweetness to that. Like
You could
you
use
could you
any wine.
yeah.
So once upon a time, well, I'll drop some candy lore. Um, I used to work at Applebee's. I don't know if they have Applebee's out in the UK, but if you've ever been to the States, there's like a chain restaurant called Applebee's. And I used to bartend at Applebee's. And we had like different sangrias, and I can't for the life of me at this point, because it's been easily 10 to 12 years since I've worked there. Um, I can't remember the name. Oh, one was a white peach sangria. Okay, so maybe it is coming back to me as I'm talking about this, right?
See,
Um,
that sounds delicious.
and it would be like the fishbowl glass, and you would start with white Zinfandel as the wine that you were putting in. You would
Yeah,
get
so a little rosy white Zinfandel, very sweet.
very
Love it.
sweet. You'd get peach schnapps, right?
Oh
Um,
damn.
you, well, that's where like that nice peachy flavor was coming from. You would get a little, then you would put in like fruit, and like the fruit that we were putting in was not anything crazy, right? You would put um cherry, you would put an orange, you would put a lime, and you would put a pineapple, and you would put just a little splash, not a ton, but again, you could also do this to taste if you're making this at home. You would put just a little bit of like pineapple juice to cut some of that like alcoholic, like that really, if you're, again, if you're looking for a sweeter drink, that pineapple juice would cut some of the edge off of that like alcohol drink, and then you would top it off with just a little bit of Sprite, just to give it a little bit of fizz. Mix it up and serve it.
Yeah. That sounds delicious. That it actually does sound delicious. But the idea of like
Cutting the
half a
alcohol.
glass of yeah, yeah, that's what I'm laughing at because I'm just like you've got like half a glass of wine and like some peach schnapps in there. Where are we cutting the alcohol? The alcohol's already not
It's
there.
yeah, it's literally like you're putting in the pineapple, like you're putting in pineapple juice just to be like, "Oh, can I convince
For
myself
children,
that this isn't
for the
like
for the children, it's for the children.
it's like, can I convince
Children
myself this
do
isn't
not drink.
don't yeah.
We do not condone drinking in children.
If you are
However,
in the
that's good
United
for the
States,
children.
if you're in the United States, 21. If you are like
Yeah,
anywhere else in the world, please follow your local laws.
yeah. If you're in Scotland, it is 18. And if you are over the age of 20 and I see you cutting your wine with apple juice or pineapple juice to get rid of the alcohol, I will mock you relentlessly.
No,
But if you're
that's
into
fair.
that, then, leave a comment down below and I'll mock you
Listen,
relentlessly in the comments down below.
you have to like and subscribe and then leave the comment though.
Yeah, no, those are, if you have not liked and subscribed, because we know,
Yeah.
then you will get no mocking. I'm
The
sorry.
trio.
Like,
It needs to be the trio.
yeah, yeah, absolutely.
But yeah, like God, I all right, there's a part of me that like now that I'm like, wow, I can't believe that that whole recipe like came to memory that quick. I worked at
It was very
Applebee's.
impressive.
I worked at Applebee's on and off for like 10 years. It was like the first restaurant job I got out of college, so like at 18. And then I would leave, come back, like leave, come back. But I worked as a bartender there for quite a long time. And like, just seeing like the different drinks that people, and it's funny because at that point I didn't really drink much at that point either. Like, so even though I was making drinks, and I wonder if it's
Yeah.
also because I was making them that I was like, I don't want to drink. Like, I work 8 to 12 hours a day making drinks, and because it's a corporate place and it's a chain restaurant, it's not the type of
Yeah.
bar where it's like, oh, I can have a drink with people. It was very much like, no, 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 like, there's a very strong divide. Like, if I'm caught drinking on the job, even if someone's trying to buy me like a shot, like, I could be fired, right? So it was, so I think just like I'm doing this 12 hours a day, going home sometimes smelling like booze. I don't want to drink. Now I'm like, yeah, I love a good drink. Now that I don't do that anymore, like, it's great. Um,
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah,
but
and I suppose there's probably less of the culture of it. So, like in Scotland, we would say get yourself one, but you put it behind the bar for when you finish, and then you
mm.
come once you finish, you come to the customer side of the bar and pick up your drinks that people have bought for you over the night, and like sit and drink with the customers. So I
So
assume that's not really a thing in the US.
so you could, so in some places it is. It depends on where you are. Um and I have been to some bars where they will actually let you like take a shot with customers. Um it also depends on the bar, depends on the vibe, right? So there are some places where they'll be like, yeah, like, if regulars want to buy you a shot, cool, give yourself a shot, right? Within reason, obviously, right? You're not going to be taking 10 shots with the customers. um but that happens if, in a situation like that where it's like at the end of your shift, like sitting with people, you could do that even when I worked at Applebee's, but the whole thing was you couldn't sit at the bar, right? So
Oh,
it was like, if you were going to do that, because the especially the one that I worked at, they thought it didn't look great, right? But they're like, oh, if you want it, like, you could sit at a table around the bar, but you couldn't sit specifically at the bar, and you couldn't still be, because we had uniforms, right? Like, you couldn't be in uniform. So like, I could throw a hoodie over my like imprinted Applebee shirt, and then I
yeah.
could sit and drink as if I didn't work there, right? And again, it was just the image, because the whole thing with like Applebee's was like, it's the neighborhood family bar and grill, right? So it's that appearance. Um, but yeah,
But
I
if you don't
mean,
want people to be drunk at your bar, then don't call it a bar. I don't know.
right.
Like,
That it's one of the strange things like about chain restaurants here, because there's a lot where it's like it's a bar and grill, but it's, there are much stricter limits, right, in terms of like what you're serving to people.
yeah,
And it's like at some places, you go to a bar, and it's like, yes, they don't want you puking on the floor, right, obviously. But if you're a little tipsy or whatever, it's like, all right, as long as you can handle it, right? the and again, I'm also talking from like 12 years ago, so things may have changed. But like some of these chain places, it would be like the second you look like you're a little tipsy or whatever, right? It was like, okay, they can't have any more drinks, or they need to sober up before they have anything else. And it's like, okay, but we're sitting in a bar.
yeah. What's the point of a pub if you're not a bit drunk in the pub?
Well, and I think
Like,
I think that's the, so we do have pubs in the US, right? And a lot of them are like expats from like the UK who come and then open like a pub. There's one
yeah,
that's really, that Sean and I went to one time, and we really like it. And it's just a little inconvenient to get to, but like, if we want legit, if we're like, we missed that time that we went to the UK, we want like pub food and a pub atmosphere, like, we'll go there. So we do have a handful of them. I think it's also because we're in New York, right? So there's just
yeah.
more diversity in things. They are not as strict, right? Not at all.
No, I mean there are laws in the UK. It's like in a pub you should not serve someone who's visibly drunk.
Right. Mm-hmm.
But visibly drunk is like,
A
I
very big
assume,
difference.
very very different in the UK versus it is. And I don't know the entirety of the UK, but like my mum lives in London, and like I would say visibly drunk is probably very different in the UK than it is in the US,
Yeah.
because visibly drunk in the UK basically just means like you can no longer speak or hold your head up off the bar,
Mm-hmm.
like, and absolutely fair, and probably you should have stopped serving them before they got to that point. I
Yes.
completely get
Mm-hmm.
it. But if you're a little bit tipsy in a bar or a pub in the UK, it's a bit like, no, they're probably going to spend a lot more money. Let's just let them.
Right, right. And that was like the interesting thing. And it's the same where it's like you shouldn't serve someone who's like visibly drunk, right? But and I think that's the tough thing with some of those like laws, right? Because it's like visibly drunk could be that like, I don't think you can, well, maybe you can see a little bit on the podcast if you're watching this on YouTube. Like if I have a little bit to drink, I do get like that flushing in my cheeks, right? But that is one drink and I get that like a little bit of flushing in
Yeah.
my cheeks. Not a ton. Right now if I have a lot, yes, that flushing is like very vibrant. Um, so there is that. But like I would have managers that were like, "Oh, they look drunk cuz their cheeks are red." I'm like, "They've had one drink."
What if
Right?
I'm
Like
wearing a little blusher? Like, what if I just come in with a little
right.
blusher?
I'm like, "No, no, they're not. They just had like one drink." So that was always interesting, but because we were like a corporate chain place, they always were much more like on the side of caution than when I've been to places that were more just like we're just a bar that maybe happens to serve food. Whereas like I feel like the chain places are we're a restaurant that happens to have a bar.
Yeah, I think that's the big distinction for me. So like, and it's again, it's quite different in Scotland than it even is in like England and stuff like that. So you do
Mm-hmm.
have pubs that serve food, and most pubs now do serve food. You have to diversify your business so you can
Yeah,
make
of
some more money
course.
and things like that. But there's very strict laws in Scotland about who can and can't be in a pub over a certain time.
Okay.
So like after, and I see it a lot because I do go to the pub a lot. I'm very much a stereotype for my country. Like I go I go to the pub at least like 3 or 4 days a week because that's where my friends are, and I like to
Mm-hmm.
have a wee beer after work, etc.,
Yeah.
etc. But in Scotland, even though the bar that I am a local in, um, is they serve food, and they serve food after 8 p.m. because
Mm-hmm.
it is a pub rather than a restaurant, or like a bar rather than a restaurant. Um, Children under the age of 18 can't be in there after 8 p.m.
Ooh, okay. Okay.
because it's a drinking establishment. It's not an
Mm-hmm.
eating establishment. So you can get food there, but after 8 p.m., like children can't be in there. So we
Okay.
do frequently see like I live in a place called Stirling. If you're not aware, it's where Braveheart was set. like so so we do get a lot of American tourists in Stirling. They do all think that they are related to William Wallace, and I do have to let you know that William Wallace died with no children, so you're probably not related to him.
Okay,
That's not
wait.
to say that
So you're saying that I can claim my 2% Scottish, but I can't claim to be related to
you're
William
related to
Wallace.
William Wallace.
Damn
Yeah,
it.
absolutely. You can I am not going to say that you're not Scottish. I'm not going to say that. But what I'm going to say that you're not related to fucking William Wallace, and please stop coming to the pub and telling me you're related to William Wallace because you're fucking not. Like he died with no children. Like you can't possibly be his descendant. Like he had no children.
Okay, but what if the
um,
history books just didn't write the children?
yeah, if you want to walk up the 597 steps to the top of the Wallace Monument to read the plaque that said he died with no children, be my guest because I'm not doing it again. like, I
Again.
did it when I did it when I was a child, a school trip, and I'm not fucking doing it again. Like they're not even standard sized steps; they're like double steps. Like you you'll be breathing out of your arse when you get to the top of it. Like,
Okay.
but we have like we have a lot of American tourists, which are great because they're usually so much fun, and they're so into their whiskey, and I love whiskey, and I like just like giving them recommendations and stuff like at the bar. But we also get a lot of American tourists that come with their families, and then
Mm-hmm.
presumably because the way bars and pubs work in America, they'll come in at like 9 o'clock at night to try and get pizza, and then like the guys behind the bar have to be like, legally we can't give you food because we can't have anyone under 18 in the bar after eight
Yeah.
o'clock. Um, and 9 times out of 10 they're completely fine with it, but sometimes they get a little bit confused and maybe they get a bit like arsy about it, and it's just like, no, that's just the rules though. Like, because the pub that I drink in it's a drinking establishment.
Mm-hmm.
They serve food because most drinking establishments in the UK now do. Um, and this is specifically a rule in Scotland. We have
Okay.
very specific drinking rules because the government kind of thinks we maybe drink too much, which we could. Maybe that's true.
But
Like,
it's feeding into your
um,
economy, so it's fine.
yeah, absolutely. But like in the in England and stuff like that, there's less. It's less strict. But
Okay.
in Scotland, the drinking rules are pretty strict. So, if you are coming on holiday to Scotland, if you're in America or from any other country, just please be aware. You will not be able to have food in a bar
Mm-hmm.
with your kids who are under 18 after 8 p.m. So just come in before 8 p.m. and then put your kids back in the hotel and then come back out to the bar. We'll get some shots or whatever. Like, that'd be
There you go.
great.
There you go. I think that makes sense. Do you have so we have I mean again, so I'm not too far outside of New York City. Do you have like bars that are also arcades where they're more like somewhat entertainment?
We do. Most of them, we don't have any of them in Stirling.
Okay.
But like Glasgow and Edinburgh, we have very specific ones actually that are like video game arcades. They're also bars. They do no food. You cannot take, and if a bar does no food at all, you can't take your children into them at any time of the day.
I love that.
So the like if a pub is just a pub that only serves drinks, there's no food available, then children are not allowed in there in Scotland. So,
Okay.
and actually, most of the video game bars in the entirety of Scotland are only drinks. Thus,
Okay.
children are not allowed in. So it's only people above the age of 18, and then you can just set up the back and do 1v1 Slayer on Halo maps on the Xbox that's hooked up to the telly for drinking Beavertown neck oil all night, which is what I like to do when I go to Glasgow, to be fair.
Valid. Yeah, we have some of those where they have the console set up. Um I'm trying we have so where I am, there's one that they have consoles, they have tabletop, they have set up for that. Although I do think they allow kids in there because it's one of those where they have a bar, but it's more the gaming area. If you are in Manhattan or you go into Brooklyn, there are if you happen to be in New York City or you're planning a New York City trip and you're a gamer, there are a few bars. The biggest one is in Brooklyn, um, called Barcade, where it is just an arcade and a bar. That's all it is. I think they sell like a few snacks, but when I say snacks, I really mean like you can get a bag of chips, right? Or a bag of peanuts. Like it's not like
Yeah,
food. Um, and they have like all the old arcade machines that are very much like it's still 1 quarter to play this game, right?
yeah,
So we have quite a few of those. So we have those very specifically in, again, I'm gonna talk about New York because that's where I'm at, right? So we have that in Brooklyn. Uh, Manhattan has, I know they have one in Chelsea that's a barcade. And there used to be, I don't know if it's still there was like an 8-bit arcade where it was the same premise, but it was a different like bar and different company. There are some in Jersey that are again the same idea. You get the quarters, it's the old price of the like arcade machine, and you play whatever it is. And the one in Jersey, I went to it for a friend's 50th birthday, and that you could rent out the space like just for you
yeah.
and a private party, which was cool. Then we also have Dave and Buster's. But Dave and
Which
Buster's,
we've spoken
yes,
about before, because your parents love a David Buster. It's
they
like,
love it. Even when my mom was here last weekend, we went to Dave and Buster's, and we played some games. But so then Dave and Buster's is different in the fact that that is like very much like an Applebee's, where it's like it's a restaurant that happens to have a bar and also happens to have like all these games, right? And happens to have the
Yeah.
pool table, and you know, they have a little VR thing and crane games and all this other stuff, right? So
Yeah.
I feel like we have like a few different types of those things. But like the
Yeah. So
barcade, no kids, which I love.
yeah. So if you're looking for something equivalent to like a Dave and Buster's in the UK, it would be a bowling alley.
Okay, okay,
Like
yeah.
so most bowling alleys have like arcades in the bowling
Mm-hmm.
alley and pool tables at the side. There's also a bar. So
Yeah, we
if
have
like
that.
me, you can only be good at bowling if you've had like 3 pints.
Mm-hmm.
Like you have that. But and they have the crane games, they have like your time crisis, you have all of the games that are there, penny falls, etc. But yeah, you wouldn't have just like there are arcades. No, there are arcades that's like everyone can go into, but they wouldn't necessarily have bars in them.
Okay.
So, like if you go to like Brighton or Blackpool and stuff like that, you'll have lots of arcades. It's like crane games and some video games, maybe, but most of them are like just old school. Take your money, like
And
some arcade
mm-hmm.
games in them. Um, but they wouldn't generally have bars. So if you're looking for that in the UK, it would be any bowling alley
Okay.
because um I don't. I assume there are some people in the UK that take bowling really seriously, but generally it's just like where you would go for a night out with your friends, and we all know
Valid.
everyone's bad at it because there's a bar. Like, so
Valid.
it's just like, yeah, yeah, and then someone will argue like, oh no, we have to bowl without the bumpers up. I don't. I assume you guys have bumpers in America.
I
Like,
don't
you
use them, but yeah, I will just be bad and be bad.
yeah, whereas in the UK, you have most people being like, "Oh, we just put the bumpers up, and then we'll just get a bit drunk, and we'll just like yeet the ball down, whatever." Like, and then you'll get one guy who's like, "No, no, it's not a game of skill unless you put the bumpers down." It's like no one's here to play a game of skill. We're here to get smashed, throw some balls, and then maybe play some Time Crisis.
Valid. I embrace how bad I am at bowling. I'm like,
Oh
yep.
no, I'm so bad at bowling. I was out today actually with my niece and nephew who are now 4 and 2, which is why I'm covered in sand. You won't be able to see it, but I am actually fucking covered in sand because we went to a little sand pit together. Um, but the last time I saw them was when my niece was 1. Um, my nephew was still 4, but we went bowling, and I was beaten by a 1 year old and a 4 year old at bowling because I know I'm bad at bowling, but also she knew what she was doing. Like every single time it was my shot, she was like, I must be on Auntie Vicky's shoulder, like
Mm-hmm.
right here, like a fucking face hugger. Like I couldn't even see. She was just like, I'm here. Like it was like you don't want to do that when like mummy's bowling or mama's bowling.
Nope.
And she was like, no, no, only when Auntie Vicky's bowling, I need to be right fucking here. I
Mm-hmm.
was like, okay, fair. I see what you're doing. I see what you're doing, Ivy.
They
Like
know. They
we'll work this out later. Like,
know. No, they
but
know.
she's also fucking adorable. And why would I? You can't say no to her. She's just so cute. She's just there. She's like, when we were out today, she was like, "Oh, I Vicky, up, up," and I'm like, "Of course, up." And then she's like, "No, up, up," and I'm like, "Oh God!" Like I was out at the pub last night, and you want to go on my shoulders, and I'm gripping her legs for dear life, and and she's like dancing. She's like, and I'm like, "You're gonna fall." Like, and it's gonna be my. Could you just fucking sit still? But at the same time, I'm like, and then we went into the toy shop. She's like, I want a Spider Gwen. And like, Vicky, and I'm like, of course you can have a spider. You can have whatever you want. You're beautiful. You're beautiful. You're amazing. I love you.
You're the fun auntie. That's what happened.
It's
You're
like,
the fun
what
aunt.
do you? Yeah, what do you want, my beloved? You can have whatever you want. Like, it's like anything. Pick it all. I'll buy it all. I'll buy the shop. Like, but yeah, but I'm still fucking covered in sand because Jesus Christ.
Kids, you know, they know. They know.
They definitely know. They know. And they're like, oh, maybe we could build a sandcastle on Auntie Vicky. And I'm like, okay, I'll just lie down here. Like, do what you
I'll
want.
just bury you in the sand. That's fine.
Yeah, but it's fine. It's fine.
Someone will, come and bury you at some point. No big deal.
Mm. Mm, absolutely, absolutely.
Well, since they're so young, we can't have them as guest on the podcast, but
No,
fantasy guest. I have a thought.
fantasy.
We talked about this very briefly in Discord.
Yeah, because it's your turn. Because I did Alex Jordan last week. It's your turn. Tell me your fantasy guess.
So we talked about this very briefly in Discord, so I'm going to go with this one because there is that new game that I am blanking on the name, but it has Neil Newbon and Ben Starr, who we've already pitched as a fantasy guest. And as they
His
released the names, there was just
his
this,
Sea Dog V8.
there was the one name that I was like, this feels so out of place from the rest of them, right? And I think the only reason it felt out of place was because it literally was listed as like Connor Sea Dog like Calhoun,
Yeah.
right? And I might have just butchered the pronunciation of his name, which if you're listening to this, sorry.
Calhoun, I think it would be how it would put. Like, yeah.
Right, so but that would be like a fantasy guess, right? And I know we're on a gaming channel, right? And he has voiced in many games, so still fits the criteria, right? But I feel like that would be a really fun like fantasy guest, right? He's on a podcast with two other people, so he's already used to being a third
Yeah.
person on a podcast.
And we all love a bit of trash taste. Like,
Love me some Trash Days. Actually, when they did the US tour, I did go and I saw them like with the live show. Um and that same year they were at New York Comic Con, and I remember being like, Trash Chase is at New York Comic Con, but I went and I met them and I got their autographs and they're lovely, right? Um, you know, but and he also is very used to dealing with, a Puerto Rican VTuber, although I know right now I'm not VTubing, right? But
yeah.
he's very used to it. So, he would fit
Yeah, he
right
can bring
in.
you a cinema roll. Like, he can bring you a cinema roll. Like,
you know for I will waive the cinema roll tax for this one. Plus, right, if you're watching this on YouTube, you can see this. I also have my own Kermit that hangs back here. And if you've ever seen the back of like his streaming space or some of his earlier videos, Kermit was very heavily featured and in there. So clear. Oh, and you know, again, okay, you know what? It's July and it's my birthday month, so I get slightly obnoxious about my birthday. Him and I share the same birthday.
well, that
So,
means he has to be on for Crane game times. Also, he is Welsh, thus there's the Celtic connection there. Like,
see?
we can get together and make fun of the fact that the English are kind of shit. Like, like and play Crane games because I feel like I consider myself to be like a master of Crane games and not Japanese Crane games like Crane games in the UK where they are absolutely rigged against you.
Where you can't just go over and
Um,
be like, Sumimasen!
yeah, you can. In the UK, you're not going up to someone in bowling alley being like "Sumimasen." You have to watch people play it enough, and then be like, "Okay, they've given up. There's enough money in that Crane game. I'm going to go over and I'm going to win it." Like, I have so many Crane game things in my home that I have won specifically just for being good at them in the UK. So I feel like, this is a challenge, actually, Connor.
Oh,
Like,
there we go.
to do UK Crane games on stream with us. Like, we've got our lovely Puerto Rican who will not ask for the cinema roll tax.
I will not. Oh,
Like,
taxes waived. Cinema roll taxes waived.
yeah. But we can also talk about anime. We can talk about a bit of JoJo because I mean, I assume you love a bit of JoJo.
I do. We have been watching it through. So my husband has read further than where we are. I will say we were at a point with Stardust where I was just like, this is taking too long. So we took a fairly long break. But we've slowly been watching it again. And I do like the aesthetic of JoJo. It was just like some of the story I was like, okay, this is going on a little too long. But now it's picking back up again. So that's good, right? So we're like back invested. We're like
Yeah,
we're in.
yeah, and we can just do Korean game championships.
Yeah,
Crane Game Championships on the pods. Connor, Sea Dog, VA,
I'm in.
put your maid outfit on. We'll all put our maid outfits
Well,
on. We'll all be maids together. Like,
100%. And yeah, I was telling V this earlier. You know, being Puerto Rican, there's like a lot of different mixtures of things that's in the DNA if you get a DNA test. I have 1% Welsh. So,
there you go.
like, I'll claim it.
Yeah, absolutely. As you should. Like,
See? So I'll be like, look, I'm here. We're doing this. So Crane Games, we'll celebrate birthdays doing something. You know, he's talked a lot about his voice acting stuff, but you know, we'll gloss over that very quickly just to hit the notes of gaming stuff.
yeah,
You know, it's fine. And he finally has shifted from skipping cutscenes to actually watching cutscenes in games. So we can dissect what are his favorite cutscenes.
yeah. He's actually paying attention to games as he plays them. Like,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. He has started that horse racing game though. I don't know if you've seen that horse racing gotcha game.
I've seen the horse. I've seen the horse racing gacha game. I've not played it. I've
I
not
have not
played it.
touched it. Can't say the same for
Next
somebody else in this household, but I haven't touched it yet.
next week we will discuss. We will play the horse racing gacha game. We will discuss.
Okay.
Canny will play it on Sean's account, so she don't have to pay for the gacha money. Because I'm sure Sean's in there with his credit card out, just being like, "Give me my
You know,
waifus." Like,
I think because he just started it, he's been okay. Like it's been okay. And
what is he doing right now? You don't know.
I don't know what he's doing right now. He's probably video editing or something. He's probably sitting there like, "Are you doing a guest episode today? Do I need to put on a wig?" And I'm like, "Just do whatever you're doing." No, he's been playing on
He's
his
got his
phone.
wig on. He's outside the door. He's like, he's got his wig on. He's like, when do I come in?
He's ready. No, so he's been playing it on his phone, so I've been seeing a little bit of it. But that game just and I do enjoy some gotcha games, I'm not gonna lie. I've played a lot of Honkai Star Rail. Although with the voice acting strike that was going on, I definitely fell off because I was like, there's a lot of story and I like story, but sometimes I just want to listen to it and I don't want to have to like
Yeah.
read it and missing a lot of the voice acting. And I will say it had good voice acting, right? And I'm not saying that because we are fantasy guest pitching Sea Dog because he does voice a character, a very minor character in it. That's not why I'm saying it has good voice acting. It did generally have good voice acting in it. Um, you know, so a lot of that was missing, and I was like, oh, that's kind of sad. So I fell off of it. Maybe I'll pick it back up again. But I enjoy some gotcha games, and if it's a game that I'm really invested in or that I really enjoy, I will throw some money at it. I don't think I will be throwing money at the horse game.
Fair, absolutely fair. And the gacha game that I play is Pokemon TGC Pocket. So there's no story of that. There's nothing. It's just a gambling simulator
Mm-hmm.
that I can do on my phone. So I don't have to spend £300 trying to buy fucking Pokemon cards in real life because I Pokemon card scalpers. Can I just level with you for a moment? I took my 4-year-old nephew into a shop today to see if I could buy him one pack of Pokemon cards that he could open, and there was none there
Oh my god.
because you're all being like, "Oh, maybe this is going to be my retirement," and all I've got to say to you is like, "I don't know, get a fucking job, bro." Like, children want to be into Pokemon, and by the time like 30 years later, when you try to cash this shit in, no one's going to want to buy it from you if children don't have the nostalgia there to actually want to be interested in it. So if you
Big
just buy
facts.
everything and don't let them be nostalgic for it, no one gives a shit about your bubble Mew. I'm so sorry. Like, could you just leave like some of the cards in the shops so fucking children could buy them and open them and then maybe get a bit nostalgic about it and have a good fucking day. Also, I will burn down your house. Like, if you upset my nephew again, I will literally burn down your house. I'm so sorry.
Snaps.
He means the world to me. I will kill you. But just stop it. Like, you're ruining it for the children that you want to be excited about it, so that your
Mm-hmm.
cards will be worth something later. Like,
Yeah. 100%. No, the card, the like, it's like the Disney Lorcana, even like Magic the Gathering. You know what? Magic the Gathering and Okay, I know we just fantasy guest pitched Sea Dog, but also Sea Dog, y'all buying all these packs of the Magic Final Fantasy ones, then other people are having a hard time finding these, and then you're opening them on stream talking about how rare they are and how much they cost, and then that's just inspiring people to go buy the packs, and then people that actually want them to play Magic can't get them.
Yeah, absolutely.
So we're
Like
gonna, you
I
know what?
buy a
When you're
lot.
on the podcast, we're gonna have to talk about this. We're gonna have to talk about this
Yeah,
problem.
I buy a lot of Pokemon cards, but not like I would. I wouldn't say like an obscene amount. Like, yeah, I've got none of these are sealed. I have opened these, and I bought them in a shop, and I opened them when I bought them, and I saw the fun Pokemon cards that I got, and I built a deck for them because I actually like to play the TGC. Like,
Mm-hmm.
it's not because I'm just like, but I also
Hoarding them.
like to collect. I also like to collect shiny cardboards. But also, if I find like a really fun Pokemon card that I know my nephew's going to love, my nephew's favorite Pokemon is Charizard. Most of the Charizard cards are like the most valuable cards. If I find a little Charizard card, I'm going to put it in a little sleeve. I'm taking it to his house. I'm like, here you go, Leo. Here's a Charizard card for you. Like, if I like my friend Bob, his kids are like really into Pokemon. Like, one of them's doing like an EV like master set. Like, just wants to have
Oh,
all the
okay.
EVs and stuff like that. I've got like an EV card that's like worth like £100. I'm putting that in a sleeve. I'm taking it to give it to a child, so because they fucking love Pokemon.
Mm-hmm.
Like, because they don't. It's not about. It's not about them. Stop investing your fucking money. Like, it's about. We want video. We want kids to love games. We want kids to be
Yes.
interested in the things we're interested in. We want them to love the things that we are interested in.
Mm-hmm.
But we also want to. I don't. You can't take it with you, bro. Like, you're gonna die in a house full of Pokemon cards worth like what, like
Nothing.
fifty thousand pounds,
It's gonna be worth
and
nothing if there's
who,
not an audience.
yeah, and who gets it? And it's the same with Magic. It's like people want to play them. I play the Pokemon TGC game, like, so I buy Pokemon cards because I want the cards so I can build a deck
Yeah.
to play the game. Like, if you're playing Magic the Gathering, you want to buy the cards to build a deck to play the game.
Mm-hmm.
Please stop um like pricing out one the players of the game, but also kids that just want to get into it.
Yes.
Like, you, like, because at the end of the day, if the as you just said, I've said, if the kids aren't into it in like 5-10 years, your big investments, all your sealed collections, they're worth fucking nothing
Mm-hmm.
because no one's interested in it anymore. You're
Right.
selling it to the same people who are also got 20 fucking sets of sealed shit in their house.
Mm-hmm.
Like, just, it's a game, bro. Like, please. It's like whiskey collectors. It's like anything. It's like, have you thought about just enjoying your fucking life?
Yes.
Like, open the
Yes.
pack, do the gamble, see if you get the rare that you want. Then put it in a nice little sleeve, a top loader. Like, I've got cards that I would never give away to anyone because they're my favorite Pokemon and they're nice
Mm-hmm.
cards. But anything else, it doesn't matter how much they're worth. If I can give it to like my little nephew or like my friend's kids and they're going to have a great time just seeing an amazing card, I'm like,
Yeah.
damn, do you know how much that's worth? More than fucking money can buy. Like,
Yes. 100%. We have commodified so much that we are stripping the joy out of things, right? And it's like,
yeah,
why are we stripping the joy out of things? Maybe it's because I'm older, right? And I'm not like sitting here like walking around with a freaking walker and a cane or anything, right? And I'm not going around being like, you young whippersnappers. But, right, it's like we
not everything
only
needs to be a hustle.
not everything
Like,
needs to be a hustle. Not everything needs to be like commodified. Like, not capitalism doesn't need to seep into everything. Sometimes we just need to have things to enjoy. Because if we
yeah,
can't enjoy it, what is the point?
yeah. And your side hustle is not stopping capitalism. Like, I need younger people to know, like, that you go out, do your hustle. Like, we do this as volunteers. If
Yes.
if Gamer Social Club like massively like scaled up and we started making fun of it, we'd be so grateful. But we're not doing this to make money. We do it because we love it. Like, you don't need to fucking monetize all of your
No.
hobbies. You like, because and that you are buying into the capitalistic nightmare
Mm-hmm.
if you think that you have to monetize the things that you love, bro.
Yes.
You don't need to
Yes.
do that. Just go work a shitty job. I know it's shitty. I work a shitty job. like and like and you know, you're probably overworked, you're probably overstressed. And I
Mm-hmm.
completely agree. That's not fair. But at the same time, you don't need to
No.
ruin your loves and your hobbies by monetizing them out of the arse.
Yes.
You stop loving them. Like, don't do
Yes.
that. Just don't do it. Like,
I say this all the time, and I feel like some people just don't get it, right? And look, I had a very, very brief period where I sort of fell into something like this too, right? Like, because again, I also stream on Twitch, whatever, I don't take it serious, right? But I have seen so many people that then are commodifying their game time, right? And then it's like, well, I can't play a game unless I'm streaming it. And I can yes, you can. Not everything has to be content or commodified, right? Like if that was something that brought you joy, let it still bring you joy, right? There is
yeah,
only so much time in life. Like, don't make everything so like I have to make a hustle out of it and I have to do this. Look, if you happen to fall into something and it works out for you, that's great and I'm happy, right? But don't go into something with that expectation, because then you put that additional pressure on yourself that ruins something that once upon a time you loved. And I see this so much with gaming and people who stream, right? They're like, well, if I'm going to play the game, I'm going to stream it. But why can't you just have a game that you play for yourself? And I have games that I play for myself and I will talk about them sometimes on stream, but I will not actually then be like, I'm streaming this game or I'm doing this thing,
yeah.
right? Or like,
You
I'm
don't.
writing this for the site. Like, no, this is for me.
Yeah, you don't want the, oh, you're doing this wrong, like, or you have to do this. Like, I play games outside of the site. They're just the games I want to fucking play, bro.
Mm-hmm.
Like,
Yeah.
and we're not necessarily commodifying the site. Like, we just do it because we love it. But at the same time, it's like, yeah, I'll sit and I'll play. I got a game on Steam like a week ago called Soccer Bond. So it's like a soccer bond game,
Mm-hmm.
but it's about pushing about molecules to make, or pushing about atoms to make molecules. I did a
Okay.
chemistry degree. It's just fucking fun. I'm like, oh yeah, and then you make like hydrogen peroxide. I'm like, yay! Like, it's just super fun. Like, I'm never going to write a review about it, even if we were talking about like, oh, maybe we'll stream this, we'll do peak and stuff like that. This is not something I'm going to stream to anyone, because I'm just going to sit on my little couch and have a nice little cup of coffee. And when I wake up on a Saturday morning after working for the full week, I'm going to play a bit of that and
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to be like, oh yeah, I just made like methanol, yay. Like, and it's
Yeah.
fun, like, because I love gaming and I want to
Yes.
enjoy it forever. And at the
Yes.
end of the day, you can't fucking take it with you. So what, you're commodifying stuff in the hope you'll get super rich so that you can do what? Die with a lot of money?
Right. And then what?
Yeah,
Like, great. So you died with a lot of money that now is nowhere. Cool. Cool story, bro.
yeah, yeah. That's now the government's money.
Yeah.
So, you know,
Is that the like
well done.
is that what you're trying to leave behind? Like I don't get it, and I just don't get having to commodify literally everything or make everything your hustle. And like and I see people who do this and I'm just like, why? Like, why are you doing this, right? Like, it's one thing if you were still enjoying it and you're having fun and it's a good time and like, great, right? But the second
Or if you're
that's,
like, if you're super passionate about it, like,
yeah,
you know,
yeah. But if it becomes like detrimental to you or the society around you, and when I say society around you, I don't just mean like the larger society, but like the people in your circle, your friends, your family, like if that becomes detrimental, like then that's a problem, right? Like and I know people who unfortunately like are still battling that or dealing with that or like, whatever. And I'm just like, you have to let it go, or you have to like rethink your like priorities, right? Like, why are you taking away the joy that a kid could have of getting into this hobby like Pokemon because you're trying to get these cards? Like, don't you remember what it was like finding out about Pokemon or whatever it is when you were younger and feeling that like, oh my God, this is so amazing and I love this? You were taking that feeling away from somebody else.
Mm.
Is that
No,
the type of person you
absolutely.
want to be?
Yeah, that's the thing for me. Like, um, you know, like I'm not a journalist by career. Like, I've got stuff on the side.
Mm-hmm.
Um, but you know, and you're not necessarily commodifying games if you want to be a games journalist or a streamer or anything like that. But to make money off of something you're super passionate about, like that's not what I'm saying. Like if you want to be a journalist, if you want to be a streamer and you're super passionate about it, it's not about saying you can't do that.
Mm-hmm.
It's like, but if you lose the passion and the only thing you're thinking about is the money,
Mm-hmm.
then what are you doing? What are you doing?
Yeah, but there should always
You're
be a balance. You have to strike a
yeah,
balance.
yeah, and because otherwise you're going to lose your personality
Mm-hmm.
into just commodification of a thing. Like
Yeah.
I work, I just work a big corporate job. I kind of like my job some of the time,
Mm-hmm.
but there's bits of it that I really like because there's bits of it that I've made my own part
Mm-hmm.
of that job.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and I'm going to continue to do those because I'm really passionate about them. And if you have passion about things and you like love what you're doing, it doesn't matter if it's like streaming or gaming or anything
Mm-hmm.
like that. As long as you still have that passion and you don't just see it as, oh, this is only for money.
Mm-hmm.
This is a commodity, and you allow it to suck away any of the joy that you have from it.
Yeah.
Like just don't do that. Like life's too short. Life
Yeah.
is too short to turn everything that you find joy into a hustle.
Mm-hmm.
Like please don't do that. Like just
No.
don't do it. Like
No. And if you and I feel like if you find yourself at that point, like you need to sit and like reevaluate. Like what did I do? Why am I at this point? Or did I just outgrow these hobbies, right? And maybe you did, right? Maybe to some
yeah,
extent you outgrew gaming or a certain type of game or whatever. And that's fine, right? That happens and that's okay. Right? Despite the fact that I know we were talking about Crash before, I've definitely outgrown platformers because I absolutely suck at them, right? But maybe that's enjoyable for other people. Cool,
it's
right?
outgrowing and outskilling the same
It's,
thing.
yeah, right. The games have
Like
just gotten harder. But like, you know, but it's like it's still fun, and it's like, well, why did and I always tell them like, why did you do this thing, whatever that thing is, right? And I know we're talking about video gaming and to some extent streaming and writing, but I always think like, whatever it is that you're doing, right? Why did you do this thing? Now, unless that thing is really truly paying your bills. And I don't mean that like you're streaming and you make $50 a month, right? I mean like you have some job that is paying your rent, paying your car insurance, paying whatever, right? That allows you to do these other
yeah.
things, right? That is one thing. That is survival, right? Like I have a
Yeah.
job.
Everyone has to pay the bills.
Right, everyone's got to pay the bills. I have a 40-hour per week job too, right? And then I stream on the side and I do these other things on the side, right? But those are hobbies to me. Those are fun. The day that they stop becoming fun is the day that I stop them, right? Like
yeah.
the day that streaming feels like, oh, well, now I have to stream is the day that it's like, well, it's done, right?
Yeah.
There's not somewhere to go from this, right? Or the day that it's like, oh, I have to boot up this game and it sucks, right? Like then
Yeah.
like is it the game that sucks or is it that my passion for gaming is gone, right? Those are two very different things, and
Yeah.
people have to do that look and think about it. And if it's because you've monetized it, right, why are you monetizing everything? What in you is forcing you to monetize this stuff and then think about like, did you lose passion, or did you let this like capitalistic view just invade everything, right? Because again, and I know we said this already, but like, we have one life to live. Life is short, right? Like, enjoy it, right? And remember that passion that you had. And I feel like I don't have kids, right? But I have friends that have kids and things like that. Unfortunately, my sister does not have kids, so I don't get to be auntie. Although my sister-in-law's having a kid, so maybe we'll get to be the
Oh,
fun auntie.
actually, I'm auntie to my best friends because
Oh,
my
even better.
sister doesn't have kids
That's
anyway. Like,
yeah.
yeah, yeah.
That's
We're
how
still
that's how we.
we're both auntie, the best sort of auntie, which is not your actual auntie. It's just like someone your friend knows.
Yes,
But they're
100%.
yeah.
100%, right? So, but they are into gaming, and we get to talk about that stuff. And it's really fun and exciting when you see like their face light up about something, right? And it's like, once upon a time, we were that kid, right?
Yeah.
We were that kid where like our face lit up talking about this game or talking about this thing or whatever, right? So where along the way did larger society, right? And I'm not saying people individually, like larger society, forget that that's a thing that kids should be allowed to feel.
Yeah. No, absolutely. Yeah. And so much of it is now lost in the culture war, the console war, the da, da, da. Like you're not allowed to
Mm-hmm.
like a thing because it's not like you're just not allowed to like a thing. And I'm
Yeah.
like, no, I'm never taking that away from my little niece and nephew.
No.
Like, um, even if I gave up my day job and like started working for Gamer Social Club full time, I would not allow it to take away my passion for gaming and the things that I love and like all of the stuff that I
Mm-hmm.
am passionate about for this.
Yeah.
And I would definitely never let it take away from like that little the joy and wonder that they can have when I can be oh, like, oh, come round to mine and
Mm-hmm.
we're gonna play new Mario Kart. Like,
Yeah.
I'll have fucking Ivy right here as she does when she tries to sabotage me, like she did at the bowling. Just like a fucking 2 year old like face hugging onto your face. And it's like, oh yeah, of course I'm gonna lose. But am I gonna have a great time? Is she gonna have a great time?
Mm-hmm.
Because she gets to play fucking like video games that she loves with her auntie.
Yes.
Like absolutely. Like
Yeah, like, are these the memories that like you're gonna remember? And like, maybe because they're younger they won't remember it yet, but then like, like in years from now they'll remember like different similar like experiences. Like, yes. Like, and I obviously there are single player games that people play on their own and blah blah blah, right? But like those party
which are
games
also
and those
amazing.
like,
They're also amazing. Like
right. But those like party games that are supposed to bring people together in those moments, like a game like Pokemon that is, again, I know we talked about this before when, the Candy Hates Pokemon episode, right? But
you
again,
do hate Pokemon though.
I
You
hate
do hate it.
I do hate Pokemon, but I know its purpose and I've studied it enough and I've given it shots, right? Like, I know that was also like there were components of it that were meant to bring people together, right? And a card game where the literal T in TCG is trading, right? And you can't trade with yourself, right?
Yeah. It's not investment card game.
Right.
Like the Pokemon investment card game. Like
No.
arrest. Like we're all gonna why are you buying up shit from a supermarket
Yes.
or like a Target or Walmart where
Yes.
literally a kid could go in and just buy one pack and all they want is one pack
They just want one pack.
to
They
take
just
home to
yes.
open it and they don't care if they get hit. They're just like, oh, I found a fun Pokemon. Like,
Mhm.
stop ruining things for people
They're like, I just
by
want my favorite Pokemon, right?
yeah.
They won't care if it's a reverse hollow, if it's a shiny, right? They don't care.
Oh
They just like, I'm trying to find that Charizard. That's it.
yeah.
It could be the most
Yeah.
basic ass Charizard, but they're happy. And that like that's it. That's what they want. And that is exactly what we should allow them to have, but by commodifying so much where we are picking up all these packs and like you go to a store and it's sold out, we don't give them that opportunity. And that is so sad.
It is so sad. And yeah, and you're absolutely right. Like we were saying that people shouldn't be streaming. You shouldn't want to make money off of the things that you love. Absolutely not. Do the things you care about. Make the money that you want to make out of the stuff that you care about. But don't lose your passion for it while you're doing it. Like, don't feel the need that you have to stream a game because it's the game that's the most up to date or
Mm-hmm.
whatever game. Like, play the games you want to play and then
Yeah.
stream them. Like,
Do what makes you
your
happy.
time, yeah, your time is not a commodity, despite the fact, like, I work, I work for a big business. I know my time is actually probably a commodity, but your time on this earth is not a commodity. So when you're not doing that, when
Mm-hmm.
you're not doing these things, like, spend time with your friends, spend time with your friends' kids, spend time at the
Yes.
bar, spend time doing the things that make you happy because you're not going to be here forever. And you're fucking like shadowless base set
Mm-hmm.
one Charizard is not going to fucking keep you warm when you're dead. like,
It's not.
like
It's not.
all of the wonderful experiences you've had with your friends, your children, your partners, whatever.
Mm-hmm.
Those are the things that are going to keep you happy. Those are the things that you're going to remember when you're old and you can't really remember a lot.
Mm-hmm.
Like, so maybe just your gamer score doesn't matter. I love gamer score. I love my fucking gamer score. I'm really like, but but it doesn't actually matter. Like, play some co-op games with your friends. Like, talk to your friends about the things you love. Go to the pub. Spend some time with your family. Just
Mm-hmm.
fucking live life.
Yeah.
Everything is not on YouTube. Everything is not on Instagram. Jesus Christ, just have a good time.
Mm-hmm. Literally. Literally. Have a good time and let the next generation has a lot of shit to deal with already. Let them
Yeah.
enjoy their Pokemon cards.
Mm.
Let them enjoy their Lorcana or Magic or whatever it is, right? Like, let them enjoy that. You know, it's bad enough they're going to have to fight climate change and all this other nonsense that's coming, right? And whatever else, whether or not you believe in
Yeah,
it or
because we'll all
not.
be
Like,
dead.
right. Listen, by the time the earth burns up, I'm going to be dead, right? But they're going to be, most likely, I think. Um, don't see
So I'll
myself
be
living another 100 years.
dead.
Um, right? But like, let them enjoy things. Like, I, again, not to be like, oh, I'm so old, but I sometimes feel like millennials, and I use that term loosely. If you're listening on Spotify, you don't see me using air quotes, but um, I feel like sometimes we are like the last generation that got to remember when you could just enjoy things versus everything being a hustle, right?
Yeah.
And that's just so unfortunate because then even for us, we're constantly trying to remember, like, remember when we could just have fun on the internet? Remember when we could just do this and like not everything had to be posted and that didn't have to be our whole lives and that's right? And it's like, well, if we remember all those things and we acknowledge that those things happened, why are we also the same people that are removing that experience from the next generation? We should be encouraging that for the next generation, right? And giving them
Yeah.
that space. Um, you know, so not that this podcast is meant to be like preaching, but I guess that's our hot take, right? Like,
Yeah,
make
that's
space
definitely your hot
make
take.
space for the next generation to enjoy things and don't
Yeah.
commodify everything. Enjoy things. You're only on this earth for so long. And I don't remember who said it, but I know it's a somewhat famous quote, right? People don't necessarily remember the things that you did or the money that you made, but people will remember the way you made them feel. So when you allow that kid to have that feeling, or when, when you give, your niece and nephew that card that they've really been waiting for and they get excited and they get that smile on their face and like, "Oh my god, I can't believe it," right? Like, that feeling is what they'll remember. And that feeling is what they'll take with them. And that should be what you're striving for, not to have some $1,000 Pokemon card.
No, absolutely not. Like, I remember not a lot of my childhood, to be honest. But we'll go into the deep V lore. Like, what I do remember is me and my dad playing the Pokemon TGC card game together. And it was all the cards that I had, like, because I'd saved up my pocket money, I bought booster box and stuff like that. And my aunt had bought me like a trainer card deck that had a French Gyarados. She lived in France.
Mm-hmm.
So it was like Levator, the French Gyarados. And I was like, yeah, I'm building my deck. And I'm like, oh, because the only person that would play the actual card game with me was my dad. So
Mm-hmm.
I was like, here's the rest of my cards. Like, you look through them, you build your deck. And then I'm like, oh, I got my Levator, I've got my French Gyarados deck. It's going to be amazing. And I just so vividly remember sitting in my childhood bedroom of a house I've not been in 20 years, of
Mm-hmm.
me putting out my little Magikarp and then my Gyarados and thinking, I'm like, damn, I've got this. Like, I've got it. And he had just built a fucking Zapdos deck because I had a shiny Zapdos in the rest of my cards. And he annihilated me, absolutely beat me into the ground. And then afterwards, he was just like, oh, well, that said, the weakness on your water cards is electric, so maybe you should think about working around that later. And I was just like, yeah. And I didn't work around it later. But I just remember sitting in my little childhood bedroom playing Pokemon cards with my dad. Like,
Mm-hmm.
because no one else would play with me in the actual game. And just getting absolutely destroyed, but having the best time of my life. Like, and if you're going out and you're just buying it for commodification and stuff like that, you're robbing your small child
Of
from
that
that moment
memory. Yeah.
where they're like, oh, I don't care if I win or lose. I'm not competitive or anything. I just want to sit on my childhood bedroom floor and
Mm-hmm.
play Pokemon cards with my dad. And I will always want to have that memory. Like, we still play Command and Conquer together.
Mm-hmm.
Like, and when he's so old that he probably doesn't remember who I am, I will still remember sitting on my bedroom floor
Right.
playing that game of Pokemon with him and him just being like, get good. And it will still be one of the most perfect memories that I will ever have. Like, so yeah, you're robbing children of this.
You're right. And that's just, I think that's such a sweet memory. And like, we've talked about this on the podcast before where like because that's why the whole crash thing, right? Like having memories like that with your parents and, you know, with whoever it is in your family or extended network that like got you into gaming or got you into all this stuff, right? Like I got into RPGs because that's what my uncle used to play, right? And because my parents worked a job that like had them out of the house most of the time, my grandmother took care of us, and my uncle like Monday through Friday, and my uncle still lived with her. So like my first exposure to Final Fantasy VII was because he was playing it, right? And like I'm sitting there and I'm watching him playing this and I'm like, wow, this story and all these other things that grew because of that, right? So it's like those are core memories to me, right? Like that Pokemon memory is a core memory to you. And we should allow people to have those core memories and help shape them because it's like, yeah, I probably wouldn't have gotten as into gaming if I didn't have my dad and my uncle in that same respect, right? Like exposing me to these different sorts of things and games and, just things that even now at almost 38, like I still enjoy and are still part of who I am and are part of the reason, right, that I joined a social group that is the reason I ended up meeting my husband, right? So it's
Yeah.
like those things got me to where I am now. And it's like we're robbing kids of those opportunities to shape who they will be and shape
Um,
what they enjoy. And, there's
you're
just so
teaching them
few
the
things.
only thing you can have a hobby about is something you can
Is,
monetize.
yeah, like money isn't everything. Money should just be a means to an end.
Yeah, and we are absolutely in no way, shape, or form saying that money is not important. We know that we live in fucking late stage capitalism and it's
Mm-hmm.
fucking terrible.
And I know I'm hella
But
poor, but am I happy? And the
yeah,
answer is yes. I
Yeah.
may be poor, and I may have to sometimes be like, where's the money for this bill coming from? But like, at the end of the day, I am happy, and
Yeah.
that's what's important.
And you're not going to be more happy by stealing, maybe not
No,
stealing, but like hoarding money from other people just because someone on fucking TikTok or Instagram told you that this was making you more fucking money.
hell
Just
no.
get out there, do the things that you love to do, love the people that you want to love, and just like fucking have a good time. Like,
Have a
man,
good time.
you're you're only here for like such a limited amount of
Mm-hmm.
time. Like,
If you're lucky, if you're lucky, you get 90 years, right? And the first 4 to 5 years you don't remember, right? And
yeah,
the last like 10 to 12 years, you may not have full use of your facilities, right? So,
yeah. The last 10 to 12 years, you're also not going to remember. You're going to be remember those first 4 to 5 years, and you're going to think that everyone else is in the same time. Like,
right? So,
not to be morbid, but like
but
that's
to
what's
be
gonna
real,
happen. I'm sorry, bro. Like,
we're
yeah,
just being real.
yeah. Do the things that you want to do. Love the people you want to love. Love the things you want to love. Stop worrying about your fucking portfolio. Jesus fucking Christ, you're going to die before you ever make any money that makes you a billionaire. You're not
Mm-hmm.
gonna be Elon Musk, and you don't want to be Elon Musk. He's a cunt. And like, just fucking just live your life and enjoy yourself and the means that you can, and just like, you want to be Jeff Bezos. He's bald, bro. Like, you don't want to be a bald cunt. No one wants to be a bald fucking stupid cunt that everyone thinks is a dickhead. Just fucking live your life. Find people to love. Find all your friends to love. Find the things that you love. Do the things that you love, and stop worrying about being fucking minted. Like, because you
Facts.
die and it doesn't fucking matter.
Facts. At least it'll be easy to put on a wig and be on Girl Pod if you're bald already, though.
Yeah, also that is true. But yeah, like, but if you want to be Elon Musk, you're not invited on Girl Pod. I don't want to fucking speak to you. I don't
Mm-mm.
want to speak to no crypto bros. Like, get the fuck,
No,
man.
I don't want to speak to you. I want to speak to the people who are playing your Path of Exile games, though.
Yeah, actually, I do want to speak to the people that are playing your Path of Exile characters, because that skill tree absolutely baffles me. I just want to, I want to know the strats, man. Like, I want to know the actual strats.
I want
Like,
them to tell me all the strats so I can figure out how to be the best at this game that I'm reviewing for GSE, because it's like, it's basically like, what if Path of Exile runs had a clock? And I'm like, yeah,
mm,
this is hard. So I
what if I
need
had
them to tell
enough
me the strats.
money to pay the man who does Elon Musk's Path of Exile?
Can you tell me what
Um,
made you so good at this game so that I can be good at this other game?
no. No one's going to love you because you got money. Like, you
They're
just gonna
gonna
have
look
to get
at
a
you like,
personality or
ooh.
leave. Like,
Yeah, right? They're gonna look at you like, oh, you have money? Hello. But they ain't gonna, no.
absolutely not.
Love
Like,
over money every time. I always jokingly say, I say this, again, jokingly, like, I don't remember why we were talking about it when my mom was here. But I was like, look, I messed up. I'm married for love instead of money. I did not actually mess up, okay? I made the right choice. So just remember that love over money is always the right choice. My bank account may say other words, but my heart says that I made the right choice.
yeah,
But I do want to hear from those
absolutely.
gamers. Not Elon. I want to hear from his paid gamers.
Well, yeah, like,
How do I get good?
why would I want to hear from Elon? He doesn't fucking game, bro. Like,
How do I get good? Please tell me the
and I get
strats.
good. Tell me the strats to get good, and the strats cannot be have like $1 billion and
Mm-mm,
also no love. Like, what? Like,
mm-mm. That's not
because
a
what's
strat.
he doing? Like, he's just in his house, like having a big cry, being like, "Oh no, Donald Trump actually said I was bad." I'm not.
That's the cheat code that you put into the Sims before you kill a Sim because you don't want to feel bad about killing a Sim. You're like, oh well, if I make them so sad, they'll just be happy when it's over. Like, and then you just leave them as a ghost to like explore. Because I do
I've
that with
never
some of
done
my
that.
I do that with some of my Sims because now you can have the Sims as ghost. So like,
Well, yeah, I know you can have them as ghosts,
yeah.
but I've never thought about them to the point they've
Oh
just
yeah,
been like,
you make them
"Oh,
so sad And
Maybe they're so
then
sad they just want to die.
and then you kill them off, and then you see what kind of vengeful spirit or like sorrowful spirit they are.
Oh, I've never done that. I've just like, oh, well, I'm God and I decide when you die.
And then I'm just like, let's see how you interact in this house. Let's see how you do all these other things. It's again, this is why The Sims, if I am playing, is not cozy.
Yeah, same, because I don't even take this into account. I'm just like, kill the sim. Bring them in front of me. I will judge them as a god.
Sometimes I'm just like, you can die by Killer Bunny. That's how we're gonna get rid of you. It's not. I don't
That's
even
cozy.
bother with like removing like the ladder. I'm like, nah, nah. You don't even get to swim before you die. You just get a killer rabbit who shows up.
You're just
Done.
dead, bro. You're just dead.
Done. Like your life is
Fair.
over.
Absolutely fair. Yeah.
I know we're like super close on time because we're supposed to keep it to like 90-ish minutes and we're like 5 minutes. But game Rex. So very
Yeah, Max.
quickly, this episode will come out 4 hours later than I normally schedule them. Only so we can meet in Parco. So planning ahead, really thinking about it. Hell Clock comes out July 22nd, so we can talk about it fully starting the 21st at 11 a.m. Eastern Time, which is when this episode went up, which is great. So it went up at 11 a.m. Eastern Time. So if you're watching this the second it comes up,
I know what Eastern time is. Like, definitely. Like
it's like if you're watching this the second it comes up, it's probably like 12:30-ish for you. Which thank you for watching as soon as this came up. If you're watching it later, that's cool too. So Hell Clock is the way they sort of pitched it in the beginning is what if like Path of Exile, Diablo, those sorts of games were also determined by a clock, right? So it's a roguelike, it's a action RPG, but it's also historical fiction, which I think is really cool.
oh yeah, it's Brazilian developers.
It's Brazilian, yes.
Yeah.
So they are taking this twist on the Brazilian War of Canudos, which is like the bloodiest war in Brazil, right? And I think it was like 25,000 people died, and there's just a lot to it. So what part of what I think is very cool, and I will talk about this more in the review that I'm going to try to have done before Monday at 11 a.m., but I might be kind of really close to Monday at 11 a.m. I might be like, hey, it's 10 a.m. and I finished. But
it's okay. It's okay. I read over the reviews, so I'll be ready for that. It's fine. Don't worry. Don't worry. Like,
so it's like 19th century Brazil. There's, all these people that have died. And you are trying to rescue the soul of the counselor who is your mentor, right? That's what you're doing. But in order to do that, you are traveling. What you see on the map is underground, and you're going against all these, for lack of a better term, zombies as you're going through hell to try to find the spirit of the counselor. And unfortunately, you cannot stay underground in hell for quite so long. So on your first couple of runs, you will notice that you have a clock that is counting down. You have 7 minutes.
Reverse Hades.
It is like reverse Hades. You have 7 minutes to achieve your goal, which is not a long time. Especially considering, like, in Act 1, there's like 24, 25 levels, right? So yeah, so again, in the spirit of roguelikes,
like 15 seconds per level? Like, what the fuck? Like
so in the spirit of roguelikes, every time you die, you come back, the clock resets itself, right? And you do see the animation of the clock resetting itself. And the character that you are, and I want to say his name is like Paju, it starts with a P. But he wakes up and he's back where he started before, and you keep going down to save people, right? Or you keep going down to kill certain figures of this storyline that have been very evil, right? But have found a way sort of back into the world, right? So you keep going through this process, and of course when you come back you can upgrade your relics, you can upgrade some of your gear, and very much like Path of Exile, you have a skill tree, right? So maybe these Path of Exile people know what you should focus on to try to build out your
My
skill tree.
God,
Skill
I've
tree is
only
not
got
that
7
complicated.
minutes. Please help.
You can, thankfully, you can, some of the skill tree gives you extra time, right? So it's like you can expand that time. But even when you expand the time, it's like, okay, you've expanded it by 1 minute and 30 seconds. So I have 9 minutes, but there's like Act 1 is
So much to
still
do.
24 levels, right? So like that's still maybe 20 seconds a level, right?
Yeah, I'm not doing that maths. I already did the
No,
other
you're
maths.
good. You're
Like,
good. Right? So you have that, and then you have um and there's other things in the skill tree that will make you stronger, and you can upgrade your relics, and you can do all these things. There are ways to skip levels as part of your skill tree, but then that comes with the flip side, because as you kill things, you gain experience points to upgrade stuff on your actual run. But if you skip too many levels, you're not getting the XP on that run to upgrade some of your skills. So you have to find this balance of like what's more important, the time on the clock or the skills you're upgrading, right? So I mean, I'm having a hell of a lot of fun with this game, but holy shit is it difficult.
this, yeah, this sounds like I need a notepad.
Sometimes I'm like I have I actually have I keep a notebook with me to jot things down so I don't forget them. So I have this notebook where like I write
Oh,
things
it's gorgeous
down.
though. I love a
Um
lovely notepad
here's
too.
like here's my pen where I've been like jotting things. But so like I jot things down so I remember to write them in the reviews, right? And I'm just like, "Oh my god, like it is hard." But then when you achieve something, like I almost jumped out of my chair when I like beat one of the I can't remember, it's like the matron or whatever, it's like this thing that keeps coming out of the ground, and she had so much like health and shit, so many enemies, and I kept getting stuck in all these enemies. I was like, oh my god, this is so hard. Thankfully the boss fights do freeze the clock, so you can try to be strategic. But like when I finally beat her for the first time, I felt so accomplished, and I knew that I was going to beat her, right? I knew that I had enough potions and I had enough of everything. I paused my game, which there's actually also a mode that doesn't allow you to pause, right? If you want to be real hardcore, when you die,
You want me?
everything is
If you
done.
want me a Dark Souls, you want me
If
a Dark Souls way, like
I would say it's
you
worse than Dark
know,
Souls, because Dark Souls, if you die, you can go back and you can get your souls, right? There is a mode of this
oh.
game that's hardcore mode that when you die, that's it. Everything's
Oh,
done.
okay.
Everything resets.
So it's Hollow Knight Iron. Is
Yeah.
it the
So yeah,
yeah.
I'm not playing on that mode for the purpose of the review. I'm not doing it because I'll never get anywhere. Right? So
Yeah, no. There's. I'm sure there's one on Ori as well. It's like the one life mode, and I'm like,
yeah,
I love Ori and the Blind Forest. I will never complete this game on that mode
no,
because I actually, contrary to popular belief, value my mental health. Like, fuck off. Like,
yeah, I'm not doing that. So I'm playing the easier mode where like I die and I come back, whatever. But like I knew that I was like, oh, this thing is going down. I have the right build. This is working. I literally paused the game to open up OBS so I could record. Like now I had my like mic muted and everything, but I just wanted to be able to go back and see, yeah, I beat her. I just needed that moment recorded. And I know that it's so silly.
get fucked.
It was one of those moments where I was like, I have been playing this for almost 10 hours and I am finally going to beat her. I am recording this moment.
No, no, I completely appreciate that. I completely appreciate that. I think it's valid, and I think it's what everyone should do. Like, beat beat that boss and record it, so later you can just look it back at it and be like, "Fuck you."
Yep, I did that. I did that.
You're having a bad day. You get to one say fuck you to something that was giving you a bad day, but also you get that sense of accomplishment all over again. Like you get to be like,
100%.
yeah.
100%. So
No,
I will have the review written by the time this episode goes on YouTube. And if
yeah,
future
and
me is smart.
I will have proofread it because that's partially my job.
If future me is smart, I will put it in the YouTube description. If future me is not that smart, I will edit the description afterwards to include it once it's all been done, or put it in the comments. One or the other. But it will somewhere be attached to this YouTube video. But if you're listening on Spotify and you're like, well, I don't see the YouTube video, so where am I supposed to see it? You go to gamersocialclub.ca and you click on the reviews, and that's where you'll find it. And it will be there Monday, 11 a.m. ish Eastern Standard Time, so that you can read more and see screenshots and hear my final review. Obviously, it's going to be more in the positive than in the negative. There are some negatives to it. There are some things that are a little glitchy. I'll talk about those there.
But you have to read the review for that.
You have to read the review for that. I can't give you everything here. You have to read the review.
This is Girl Pod. This is not Review Pod.
This is not Review Pod. This is not Review Pod. But if you want the reviews, make your way over to gamersocialclub.ca. And if you've had enough of me, but not enough of V, make sure that you catch V over on the weekly news each week. And if you need more gamers to chat with, join the Discord in the link down in the description. Make sure that you like, subscribe, share this with your gamer friends, leave a comment on something that we did that was wonderful, or if it was something awful. If you are the person who's like, well, I have this $1,000 Charizard card and you can't have it, and you feel the need to brag, sure, go ahead and brag, bro, but we're gonna come at you. So just also be ready for that.
Brag about it in the comments, but be ready for me to call you a virgin. I'm so sorry.
Just be ready. That's all I'm saying. You can say it, but be ready for what comes back. And if you're on your favorite podcast service, then add a 5-star review, or don't if you're that virgin with the Charizard card at 50 years old.
Stay mad, bro.
And let us know that's why you're mad. Let us know. You know, listen, live your life. Live your best life. I just think your best life is not holding on to Pokemon cards. It's giving that child that joyous feeling that they need. But you do you, bro. And we will see you next time. Bye.
Bye, guys. Bye.